Representing the new and old school freestyle classics on Llama 104.5 HD2.
Hi, this is DJ MDW on the Freestyle Shutdown Mix, Llama Radio 104.5 HD2. Today, I have the honor to interview a man that definitely needs no introduction. Record label owner, artist management company, publishing company, concert promoters, nightclubs, just to name a few. I mean, the godfather, they say, of freestyle, Sal Abbatiello, who initially started bartending in his father's nightclub in the Boogie Down Bronx. Welcome, Mr. Sal. This is such an honor for me.
What's up, MDW, baby? What's up, everybody out there in Florida land? Port St. Lucie?
Yes, this is all out of Port St. Lucie.
Yeah, my girl Cynthia lives out there.
Yep, we support your girl all the time. The fans really love her music. And I must tell you, me, myself, being a DJ for so many years, coming from the Bronx, Jet Set Cafe, Webster Avenue, Club Riddlers. Matter of fact, the Up and Down Bar, Mi Gente Cafe, which is now Club Evo, which everyone knows that is the number one spot in the Bronx. I mean, Club Extreme. You know, we've worked with like Todd Terry, Little Louis Vega, and I have the honor to really have you live right now. And, you know, one of my questions I want to ask, and I know a lot of people want to know this question. Who is Sal Abbatiello?
I'm an Italian, born in the Bronx. Family came from Italy, settled here in the 1930s, 40s. Grandfather opened up a grocery store on 149th and Washington Avenue. My uncle was here. They opened up a little shop. The other uncle opened up a shoe repair place. My mother lived around the corner. And so that's where my history starts. It was in an urban neighborhood, predominantly black. So I grew up around R&B music. And after my dad's father passed away, he worked in a grocery store with my grandmother, but then he opened up his own bar. And he opened up a bar on 149th and 3rd Avenue, which was called Alley East. And that's how our family got introduced into the nightlife and bar. And as it went on, I was always around that element in the bar because, you know, my mom had to work as a barmaid because the family couldn't afford, you know, my dad couldn't afford to pay somebody. That's how bad times were back then. And so I was around R&B music, soul music. It was a great experience. Chubby Checker, so all those artists, and then playing in the streets, in the fire hydrants and everything, growing up in the Bronx, where we all mixed. And so my father opened up a bar on 169th Street and Jerome Avenue called Cafe Pepper and Salt. And I started working there as a waiter. I was 17 years old, and I went to All Hallows High School in the Bronx. And I did not go to college. I was supposed to go to Fordham University, but I just didn't think college was for me. So I was sitting on the steps for about a week. I told my mother I was going to school, but I wasn't. And I went and joined the Navy. So I went and joined the Navy. And back then, you know, the Vietnam War was going on. So I went under the buddy system with a friend of mine. And I was still, so then my father opened up another bar on Pelham Parkway and Boston Post Road. It was called Abbott's Golden Hour, which is short for my last name, Abbatiello. Mm-hmm. And me, my uncle, and my father. And that's where we had, it was a real mafioso place. We had bands there behind the bar. There was no DJs. This is in like 70, 71, 72. Chad Palmolari used to play there in the band. Joe Pesci played there in the band. Frank Vincent. So we had a lot of celebrities who were up and coming too that went on to become big movie stars that I worked along with. And then I opened up the first disco on Williamsbridge Road and near Pelham Park. They called Sal Abbott's Playhouse. And I was the first one to bring a DJ into the Bronx, like in 72, 73. And from there on, started escalating, and I didn't know what to do with my life, and I wound up getting into an incident where I was shot twice.
No way.
Yeah, in 73, from an incident at the bar, you know, protecting somebody. Mm-hmm. And so I wound up staying out of the business for 2 years. And in 1976, my family opened up a nightclub up a block from Pepper and Salt, right on 167th Street, called Disco Fusion. And when we opened up the club, I wasn't working at the time. And my dad said, come on, you want to come down and work down in the South Bronx? No, I knew all the managers and everything. So I went down there. That's where I was introduced to hip-hop. One of the DJs at night, after everybody would leave, he would play music, and he would rhyme over the music. And I saw the intrigue. Every time the chick comes in, the energy of the crowd picked up, and he's got everybody repeating what he's doing. No matter what he said, throw your hands in the air, say ho, ho. He's bringing together the whole nightclub at one person. And I thought that was extremely interesting that he could get strangers in the club all being unified as one person for that moment, you know?
Yeah.
Music. So I said, where could I see this? And we started hanging out. I said, I'd like to bring this indoors on a nightly basis. My father was definitely against it. All his older black friends, they thought it was like, they talk over other people's music. They don't even sing. They're talking. They were just putting it down. You're going to bring trouble here. Because it was only in the park. I bring it indoors and we do 700 people the first night on a Tuesday.
Wow.
Crazy.
That history paved the way for so many legends, so many rappers. You know, I was reading this article on people.com and they were quoting these things that you were saying, you know, the club is my wife. And I was trying to really relate to that. Why would Sal say, the club is my wife? Could you explain what you mean by that? Because I know as a passionate music lover, I understand, but I don't think regular people understand what that quote was about.
Well, what it meant was, at the time, I had met my wife in 77, but I met her, I was tending bar. I had owned a lumberyard. So it was a normal lifestyle. I was a normal person. And all of a sudden, when I started working for my dad at the club, and I started bringing in hip-hop, I'm working in 2 nights, 3 nights, 4 nights, 5 nights, started damaging the relationship. And then when we got married in 1980, it wasn't so bad when we were dating because I didn't live with her. So now that we're married, we're living together, you know, she's waking up at 7, I'm going to sleep at 7 in the morning, she's coming home at 5, she's looking for dinner, I'm looking for breakfast, I'm just waking up, and just wasn't working out. So we wind up getting separated after about a year and a half. I loved her, and I was very upset. But, you know, it wasn't for her. That's not what she wanted out of a marriage. So I went into focusing in on business. So I opened up Skate Fever. I opened up a jam spot called Games People Play. I had Sugar and Spice. I had Pepper and Salt. I had Disco Fever. And then I started the record company. So what I meant by that was that became my wife. I put everything into that. I didn't have to answer to nobody. So I put all my energy into that. She wound up coming back to me in 83. Been together ever since.
Wow. Let me ask you one question. Why was it so important for you to convince your father to let you take a shot at running the Disco Fever? Why?
Well, I knew, you know, the older crowd wasn't going to understand and comprehend the hip-hop music in the street. I came from the street. I played basketball. I hung out. I grew up around urban life. I knew deep down inside, next generation of young urban black and Spanish kids, that was going to be the next music. I could tell by the reaction of the crowd. It was too big. It was drawing too many people. When you have a teen movement, that's a movement. Nobody starts music in the 40s and 50s. It starts from the teens. If you go back in time, Motown, jazz, disco, you know, R&B, comes classic, and it lives on forever.
You're absolutely right, but, you know, seeing you back then when you were in Crush Groove and seeing you today, you know, it has shown me to really live an authentic life, like be who you are. And I must tell you, watching you, you are currently sweeping social media with your show, The Drive-By. By yourself, right? I look at that and you're on the screen and you're just jamming and you're having a drink, you're living life. And I'm saying, this guy is not 22 years old. I know a lot of 35-year-old men that can't live passionate and are so blessed and happy to be like you. Why The Drive-By? Because that is so different. And I'm going to say it now live on radio. I know people are going to copy you. I know people are going to drive by neighborhoods, but you are the originator, no imitator. Why did you start that?
Well, all my life, I have been copied and imitated, which is a compliment to what I do. That's my talent, finding talent. I was very fortunate to be at one of the pioneers of hip hop and one of the pioneers. But the drive-through, again, another thing where you're looking for something different. You're looking for something that's different, but that's going to appease and make people feel.
Yeah.
And it's always about sports or education. So those are the three most important things in my life that I try to instill on people. I try to involve. Because those are the things that make people happy and they get people ahead in the world. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
So the drive-through happened by accident because I had the virus. And I was going to get tested for the fourth time. I was positive 3 times.
Oh my God.
I never do this. I put on the tape. I'm taping myself walking into the doctor. Taping myself coming out going, I'm negative, everybody. I'm negative. And I go in the car. I never go live, right? So I go in the car and I keep the phone on. So I'm talking now. And people are coming on and go, but now I want some sexual healing. And Marvin Gaye's tape happened to be sitting there in my leg.
Wow.
And I put it on. And I played sexual healing, and all of a sudden, 40 people, 50 people, 70 people, 80. And then I just started playing all the CDs from the Motown. And then I was like, wow, look at this. Gave me the idea to go on and try it by myself. So I tried it by myself the first time. It did well. And then I thought of having an artist come with me. And C-Bank was the first one. And as you know, the numbers were crazy.
It went viral instantly. I was like, wow.
You know what it is? We just have fun.
It's hard for people to just be themselves and have fun the way you and C-Bank was. And that's what made it special.
My success my whole life was being reachable, being somebody who somebody could reach out to, starting careers. You know, there's people who are millionaires and billionaires and they're so successful. But who's come out of their camp? Who have they influenced or who have they given a chance to go on to be successful also? And I'm very proud of that. So many people, I'd say hundreds of people in my 50 years of being in business. You know, also longevity. I've been constantly in the public side, owned over 12, 15 nightclubs during my time. Always was a trendsetter, always was involved in the neighborhood, you know, because you got to take care of the neighborhood, especially the Bronx.
And I'm going to take this like way back. What made you at that time want to sign Niobe to Fever Records, knowing that music was going to be something different and something that it was risk-taking?
Well, that all happened. Niobe, I had a skating rink on 172nd Mount East. And across the street from the skating rink, there was a burned out park. And the owner of the wasn't skating uniform. So he must have made all these promises to the neighborhood that he was going to clean up the park. Because across the street from the skating, right across the street, was a park that drug dealers had taken the park over. And they were in there and they broke all the seesaws and swings so that it was unusable for the neighborhood. And the neighborhood had all apartment buildings around. They were very afraid to even walk by it with their children. And so I go in and they came to visit me, the community board, and I told them that I promised that I would clean up the park. Little did I know what I was getting into, because it was gangbang. You know, I had a crew too. All my bouncers went in. Took about 3-4 weeks. We won. We threw them out. I had a benefit with Fat Boys, Kurt Slow, Young Green Sea, and we built the park. And it was beautiful. And that's how I met Naomi. So she was living around the corner, and she wound up singing for the fundraiser at the park, right where she lived.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And I met her. Yeah, I was introduced to her. I started taking her around to the Apollo. And she goes, oh, what a voice. You know, she was 15 years old. She had some voice. And everybody was so impressed with the voice. So I was having a talent show at the Fever, a gong show. Actually, it was called the Gong Show. And the prize was a recording contract with Fever Records. Obviously, she goes in and she wins it. And she wins the recording contract. A long story short, Andy Panda, saw Naomi sing, came backstage. We had tape, 4-track tape with her singing on it. Listened to it. It would be perfect for her. She's the one for the song. So we go back to the Fever, throw the cassette on. And there was like a Latin-sounding disco record.
Yeah.
But it was something different, something new. But I knew second-generation Puerto Ricans would get ready to find a place in New York for themselves. Just the way the young urban kids do with hip-hop from R&B. So I knew they were going to find their own music because they started coming to the Fever. They started becoming DJs. So you could see the movement starting to happen. So when I met Andy and Naomi in that record, I happened to deal with Sushi Rap for me to bring them talent. And I brought them the song, Naomi, and Naomi loved it, obviously. and we brought it in, and our cast enjoyed the record. He said, look, if you believe it, we all said, look, it's going to be the new thing. We didn't know what the name was at the time. That was the birth of freestyle music. So when I made the record, I knew I'm going to open up a nightclub that was going to cater to that sound. Naomi, Lisa had just come out, so you came home. Now we had 2 Latinas out, and that was it. Those 2 set it off. And then the Devil's Nest really gave the opportunity for them to all meet. So people were coming there to the show, to go hang out, to meet people. My customers, George Llama and TKA and My India, Sapphire. And, obviously Naomi sang there, the Cover Girls. And that's the history of how the freestyle got started.
A lot of the freestyle freaks, the freestyle fans, they're not sure. And you're the only person I can really ask this to get the correct answer. Is Naomi the godmother or the queen of freestyle?
Well, it depends on what your definition is of each one. They call me the Godfather. I didn't self-proclaim myself. People started calling me that. I never had a title. I just was Sal. I hosted it, and that was it. So I guess maybe because she was first, the godmother was more appropriate. I started calling her the godmother because she made the first record. And in my opinion, no disrespect to nobody else, she's the best singer out of everybody. To me, my personal opinion.
Before I wrap up this interview on this station, I want to know what is next for Sal Abbatiello.
Well, as long as my health holds up and the body, I'm going to be 68 this year.
Oh my God! And you act like a 26-year-old jumping in that car in the drive-by. God bless you.
It only matters how you feel inside. Music makes you feel young. Music has no age. So I hope to continue. It looks like this year is going to be kind of shot. The only thing going on may be some private parties. But the reason we can't have shows this year is because they're having such restrictions that you can't put enough of people in the building to make money or break even.
Exactly.
So, that's the only problem we have now. And my artists are all out of work. They're all, struggling. Everybody's trying to just find a way for the next day, to get back to normal. So, what we can do is pray and hope that we all get back to normal. And, we all got to sit together and try to help each other out till we get there,
Yeah, and I believe, and I know in my heart, once all of this come back, like it's gonna be tripled. It's gonna be the anticipation. It's just gonna even grow in ways that only God can explain. And it's such a blessing to see what you've done for the community. Born and raised 138th Street, Willis Avenue myself, I understand the Bronx. I see the humble beginnings. I see from where people grab something from nothing and make it something. And then I see you helping so many people along the way. And I personally want to thank you because for me, it's way beyond the music. It's way beyond what people see. I think is where your heart is at and where your heart has always been. And that has been to give back to a community. And I just wanted to say thank you, and thank you for coming on to the radio station. And you're always welcomed here. Your artists, your roster, your music is gonna always live on forever, especially in my heart. And I really want to thank you for taking the time to come interview the Godfather himself, Sal Abbatiello.
You know it. Well, it was an honor to be on the Freestyle Shutdown.
Yes.
And don't forget, it's on 104.5, so check it out. Check MD out each week. And don't forget, my drive-by is every Wednesday on Fever Records on Facebook only. So you got to log on to Fever Records on Facebook Live. So that's it. I just want to say goodbye to everybody. Thanks a lot, bro.
Thank you so much, man. God bless you, the Freestyle Freaks. Del corazón, from el boricua loco, la Llama Radio 104.5 FM.